We've taken over at Fulham and been met with a collection of averageness. We've lost two of our best players but brought in a defensive wonder kid, helping us to an unlikely 6-point top of the table start to our Premier League campaign. But with some gaping holes across the pitch and £100 million to spend today, it's time to gather my scouts and get down to work. A new era has begun at Fulham with Adrian management team commandeering an average Fulham squad. My loyalty is unwavering, and so much so if yet again followed Adrian management from Wolves as he begins his new chapter at Craven Cottage. With the arrival of Sutalo and the squad needing a little bit more talent, I'm here to offer a short list of transfer suggestions. Despite Leno being a solid choice between the sticks and a reliable captain, he's ageing. Mellier's always been touted with a larger move from Leeds, however, has displayed staggering loyalty. Mellier's potential is not in question, and I believe he will prove to be a great long-term developmental choice. One Portuguese out, another Portuguese in. William Carvalho was once a strong physical presence in midfield for a club and country before arguably being displaced from the squad by the very man who's just left Fulham. Carvalho would no doubt come into the squad as the best central defensive midfielder with great physical attributes to control the midfield. Quinton Timber is a player once at the books at Ajax who left and blossomed at Utrecht and Feyenoord. A strong box-to-box midfielder with great tenacity and physical stats, perfect for the Premier League. And finally, Berghuis. I feel like we're missing quality within our squad, and with all our players seemingly just average, Berghuis would offer a little bit of finesse and quality to our chance creation. Now firstly, it's wonderful to hear that both my scouts and my staff are willing to follow me on my journey to become the best manager in world football, and it's great to see we're going to be building a dynasty here at Wolves, not just on the field but off it as well, with some top-class talent. Let's start off in goal though. I mentioned at the very beginning of episode 1 that Bernd Leno is my number one between the sticks at 82 rated at 31 years of age, though he's hardly likely to improve any further. And I agree, at 8 years his junior and looking for a move back to the Premier League, Ilian Meslier would be a fantastic long-term addition to the team. But with Leno being the best player in the entire team at the moment, whilst goalkeeper might be a long-term thing that I need to fix, right now I'm comfortable with the 31-year-old German in between the sticks. With the departure of Joao Palhinha to Manchester United at the very beginning of this career mode, there's no doubt that despite the best efforts of the likes of Sasa Lukic, Tom Kearney, who scored a wonderful goal in his opening game of this campaign, and of course Harrison Reed, we do still have a gaping hole in that area of the pitch. William Carvalho would certainly be an experienced option for me and someone who would add some much needed footballing IQ to the centre of the park for me, but with him being 31 years of age, and with me having some question marks over the long-term future of my club captain, the 32-year-old Tom Kearney, would it be slightly hypocritical of me to bring in another 30-plus midfielder to partner the veteran Scotsman? Quinton Timber, though, on the other hand, could be a very interesting addition. Look at the versatility to play in the heart of the midfield, central defensive midfield, and central attacking midfield. He's 22 years of age, he's got his best years ahead of him, and judging from the initial scout reports, it looked like he could be a fantastic addition to the club. But with me still having lots of work to do to improve this team in all areas, and me only having £89 million to do so, I think I'm going to have to wait for the full scout report to come back to figure out just how much the young Dutchman's going to cost me. And as for the central attacking midfield position, there's no doubt this role is going to be absolutely pivotal for me when creating chances this season. And in Steven Berghuis, there's no doubt that once again he offers a lot of experience in that department. I've already had success bringing in Sutalo from Ajax. It could be another player that would offer me the same level of success in this man. However, with Andreas Pereira having that something special and still being one of the better players that I've got in my team, yes, there are concerns. If I do get an injury to the 27-year-old Brazilian, I will be in some serious trouble. But just like I mentioned earlier, as priority number one, I think I might have other areas of the pitch that I need to put first. I think Steven Berghuis and an upgrade in that central attacking midfield position is a very interesting option though, and one certainly to keep an eye on as the career mode progresses. Hi, I'm Melu from South Africa. I'm your scout and I travel all around Europe and America to look for talent. Here are several players that I recommend you sign. Salah Özcan, he's a strong defensive midfielder. He excels at breaking up play and shielding the defence. He's got great work rate, his high energy, the tireless work ethic will allow him to cover large areas of the pitch. His ball-winning ability is excellent at regaining possession, and he's got Bundesliga experience, proving himself consistently in one of Europe's top leagues. Nicolas Dominguez of Nottingham Forest, he's a versatile midfielder and can play multiple roles in midfield, both defensively and offensively. He's got strong defensive skills and he's great at intercepting and disrupting the opposition play. He's an excellent passer and he has the ability to switch the playing, deliver key passes is crucial, and he's Premier League tested. He's adapted well to the challenges of English football. And finally, Joao, he's an explosive winger possessing great pace and flair, making him a great threat on the wings. He's an excellent dribbler, he can beat defenders in 1v1 situations, creating chances from wide areas. He's got high work rate and he works hard off the ball and helps defensively when needed, and he's a rising talent. With continued development, he has the potential to become a standout winger. So once again, with central midfield being priority number one for me, let's start there. So wow, Özcan, the 25-year-old Turk from Borussia Dortmund, what a statement signing that would be. I'm sure he would immediately come in and be the best midfielder at the club, and with him having European experience, he would take this team to new heights that it's never seen before. However, with him playing for the German Giants at the highest level, would he want to make the move to London at this point in his career? here? I'm not quite sure. Nicolas Dominguez, though, is a completely different story. Premier League, tried and tested, 25 years of age with his best years ahead of him, and seemingly from the initial scout report, it looks like he could fit in like a glove. He's got high attacking and defensive work rates. And just like Quinton Timber, let's see what the full scout report says before I make a decision on whether or not I want to purchase the Argentinian. And as for out wide, I've spoken about the fact that I've got now the aging 35-year-old Willian retiring at the end of the season, who's obviously not a long-term option, meaning that I've had to move Alex Iwobi and retrain him out to a left midfielder. I've got Adama Traore and Harry Wilson on the right-hand side of midfield, neither of whom that I think are at the required level to take this team to where it wants to be. So could Luka Warwick Koleosho be the answer to my problems? It looks like he's got fantastic physical stats, and it looks like he's got versatility not just to play on the right, but also on the left-hand side of midfield. Once again, I've got to wait, though, for his full scout report to see whether or not it's going to be worth buying him. But with him just being 18 years of age, it's going to be a lot of pressure to rest on such young shoulders if he is going to come in and be the main man on the wing for me. And whilst I haven't mentioned him yet, one man who many of you did want me to sign was, of course, this man, Emil Smith-Rowe. He's joined the London club in real life, but it looks like Wolves, my former club, have managed to snap up his services before I have, meaning that unfortunately, in Season 1 at least, we will not be seeing the Englishman at Fulham Football Club. And finally, hello boss, welcome to Fulham Football Club. We hope you'll do a fantastic job here at the London club, and to help you, I've assessed the weaknesses in the squad and would like to offer some suggestions in order to cover for the said weaknesses. One is in the midfield, with our captain Fantastic performing really well. I'd say he needs another man by his side. One such man could be Florentino of Benfica or Ederson of Atalanta. Either one of them would be looking to get the next step in their career to play in the best league in the world, and I believe either one of them would be a fantastic signing for Fulham. Another weakness I noticed was at the striker position, with Rodrigo Munoz not being up to the mark, along with Raul Jimenez already decreasing in overall. I'd like you to sign the Colombian Cucho Hernandez from the MLS. He's a good player and will be a great addition to our firepower here at Fulham. So once again, let's start in the centre of midfield. Florentino Luis is a man who's been heavily recommended to me across a couple of different career modes I've played, it must be said, and I've never quite managed to secure the services of the 24 Portuguese. Just like the others though, let's see what my full scout report's got to say before I make a decision on him. And as for up front, I've spoken about the long-term future of this man, Rodrigo Munoz. I do see him as my key striker moving forward, with him having that something special and with him just being 22 years of age. However, it is a lot of pressure to put on such young shoulders here at the very beginning of Season 1, and judging by the fact that he hasn't yet managed to find the goal-scoring charts, it looks like he's feeling the pressure. And whilst Raul Jimenez, with his first touch of the ball coming on as a substitute, managed to get his first goal in the Premier League this season, with him being 32 years of age and already his overall rating decreasing by 1, now down to 74. Clearly, the Mexican is not the long-term option at the club. Now, just like Florentino Luis, Cucho Hernandez seems to be a firm favourite on EFC 24, with many people heavily recommending me to sign him over the course of a couple of different career modes. And once again, just like the Portuguese before, I've not been able to secure the services of the 24-year-old Colombian. Is now the time to do just that. However, with Rodrigo Munoz showing in real life that he does have what it takes to cut it at the top level, scoring 9 goals in 26 appearances for Fulham last season, is it right that I give the young 22-year-old the chance to show what he can do here in this career mode as well? So with that in mind, and with other areas of the team that I still need to improve, I know I've got so many different striking options that I can potentially choose from, but I think it's only right that I give the 22-year-old at least until January. He's got 6 months to show me what he can do, and if he cannot reach the required level, then it will be time to say hello to one of your recommended options, and who knows, maybe it could be the 24-year-old Cucho Hernandez. As for now though, having taken on board all of your suggestions, and with us reaching transfer deadline day, it's time to make a decision as to what we're going to do with this £89 million transfer budget. And with a Palhinha-shaped hole still left to fill in the heart of my midfield, but still with not enough time left remaining to get these full scout reports, I feel like I'm going to have to take a huge gamble as to who's going to be the man that I'm going to bring to the club. And so that is why, whilst in this situation I cannot afford to take any risks, I am going to be bold, and I am going to decide to bring in not just one replacement, but 2 replacements instead. The first is going to be someone who's clearly got Premier League experience at multiple different clubs, and someone whom Fulham felt necessary to take a punt on in real life. He's a man who's been relegated twice, and we're hoping that is not going to be the same story for a third time round. As that is right, the first signing of this episode is going to be the big Norwegian Sander Berge, who's going to be joining from Burnley for £8 million. And with me looking to continue to add that much needed Premier League experience in it's time to welcome signing number 2. He's another man who spent a year this time at Nottingham Forest and is ready to try and make the move and the next step in his career down to the bright lights of London to make up my midfield for the foreseeable future. That is right, it is time to welcome signing number 2. It's the 25-year-old Argentinian Nicolas Dominguez, who joins from Nottingham Forest for a fee of £16.5 million. With Sander Berge just coming in at a 75 rated, I think I was right to hedge my bets and to bring in 2 new central midfielders. But with Nicolas Dominguez coming in as a crucial player, 78 rated, immediately being the best central midfielder at the club, I'm hoping that the two 25-year-olds can combine to become a formidable partnership in the heart of my midfield moving forward. But finally, with £59 million still left remaining in the budget, I think I've still got room for one more reinforcement to this Fulham team. Now, I've spoken about being comfortable with my back line, at least at the start of Season 1. My 2 new central midfielders are hopefully going to light up the middle of the park for me, and I've made the bold decision that Rodrigo Munoz will have 6 months to show me what he can do to lead the line for me. And so that means there is still one more area of this team, especially in the wide areas, that still potentially could be improved. Now, at 77 rated, Alex Iwobi is my best winger, and whilst Willian is retiring at the end of the season, I still think the 77 rated 35-year-old's experience is going to play a pivotal role this season. And so with neither Adama Traore nor Harry Wilson showing to me that they've got what it takes to command a position on the right-hand side of my midfield, that is going to be the third and final position that we're going to explore this summer. And after getting a serious knee injury last season that kept him out for the majority of the entire Premier League campaign, there is a young man who's absolutely desperate to get back to playing football regularly on a first-team basis. And after being ousted from the first 11 at Aston Villa following that injury and such good form for the West Midlands club, there's a 26-year-old Argentinian who's ready to make the next move in his Premier League career. That is right, it is time to welcome signing number 4 of this entire career mode as Emi Buendia joins Fulham Football Club from Aston Villa for a fee of £17.2 million. He's got that something special and he has the potential to be a real crucial player here at Fulham Football Club. He's got the versatility to play both on the right and the central attacking midfield positions. And whilst his injury has curtailed his development and meant that he's missed a lot of first-team football over the last season, both he and all the other new signings at the club finally have the opportunity to show the Fulham faithful, the travelling Fulham faithful, exactly what they can offer. But it's going to be no easy feat because after a sensational start winning our opening 2 games, we are now going to be put to the test against the reigning Premier League champions, Manchester City, at the Etihad. What a game we've got before us. It's a new look Fulham away from home, starting off with Leno, the now captain, in goal, following Tom Kearney unfortunately losing his place in the starting 11. Tete, Diop, Sutalo and Robinson start at the back. Of course, it's debuts for Sander Berge and Dominguez in the heart of the midfield. Iwobi starts on the left, Pereira in behind the striker, with Buendia, another debutant, on the right-hand side. And of course, Rodrigo Munoz leads the line. Here we go then, a big, huge game for these travelling fans to enjoy, and it's a real opportunity for some of these players to show that they're going to try and ignite their Fulham careers here today against the toughest opposition. As Leno has it and floats it over to the right-hand side to that man Tete, nods it down into Dominguez for his first touch in a Fulham shirt, plays it into Diop, who brings it out of defence very nicely in, goes and gives it away in a really dangerous position. Phil Foden though has it, gets past Sutalo, goes out to the right-hand side to Kyle Walker, and of course no one is going to be able to keep up with the Englishman's pace. Into Phil Foden, it's a lovely ball. Sutalo comes across with the block, but it falls kindly back into the path of Phil Foden, who just powers it into an empty net after the goalkeeper dove, and we could do absolutely nothing about that. A total stroke of misfortune and a real killer blow to start off this opening 10 minutes. Phil Foden got into the box. Sutalo did enough to block him off. It was a good block, but it fell right back into his path, and the goalkeeper had already made the dive. And of course, that meant that Phil Foden had an empty net to drive a strike into the back of the net for Manchester City lead 1-0. Sutalo, though, bursts away from a couple of challenges and lays it out to Iwobi on the left-hand side. Iwobi is looking for anyone to give the ball to here. Ends up going back into his own half. Eventually it feeds it out to Anthony Robinson. Into Sutalo. The centre-back is absolutely miles forward here. Plays it to the left-back, who plays it across. Oh my word, it was a cross-come shot there, but it went straight into the arms of Ederson. Into Sutalo. Nicely done. The centre-back once again bringing it away into Iwobi, into Andreas Pereira. The Brazilian struck blocked off, corner. It's been a good response here from Fulham, exactly the sort of one that I would hope to see. 20 minutes in, we've got a corner and it's thrown in, looking for Emi Buendia, one of the smallest men on the pitch. That's not exactly the man who I wanted to hit it, but Tete will pick up the scraps, and it's played back out to Pereira, who will throw it back in, looking to the back post. Once again, it's an easy ball for Edison to save. Diop now has it for Fulham. We are putting pretty much every single man inside the Manchester City half here, as Emi Buendia just wriggling back and forth, trying to find an option, shapes it up on his left. Oh my word, what a strike, another good save. Buendia looking for his first goal in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt, and he was inches away from getting it. We've got our third corner thrown in. Edison, an absolute unit at the back, claims it once again. Alex Iwobi though wins it back from Kyle Walker, and Iwobi drives down this left-hand side, looking for the ball into the box, cutting it back. This time Kyle Walker makes amends. We cannot seem to find a way past this stubborn Manchester City defence, but Andreas Pereira wins it in a good position, plays it into Munoz, and Munoz gets his first goal in a Fulham shirt, and it's an absolute calamity at the back for the Citizens. Well, it's our new gegenpressing style that has absolutely left the Manchester City defenders in the mud. Absolute calamity. Brilliant play, brilliant pressing from Andreas Pereira. He laid it on a plate to Rodrigo Munoz, and oh my word, he needed that goal. Brilliant way to kickstart your goal-scoring tally this season. 1-1. Into Bernardo Silva. He's being tracked by Sander Berge. Sander Berge, though, can't do enough to get the Portuguese man off the ball here. Jeremy Doku into Bernardo Silva once again, and Silva wriggling away from a couple of challenges. Really good stuff there from the young man. Haaland, though, into the goal scorer Phil Foden. Phil Foden tries to go past Sutalo, does go past Sutalo into Haaland, and Haaland, oh my word, you would not expect that from the big man. I expected him to absolutely leather it into the back of the net. He made a real hash of that. Unfortunately for me, at half-time, we breathe a sigh of relief. Here we go then. We begin the second 45. It's been a real entertaining affair in the first half. Can it continue here in the second? Into Dominguez, takes it in the heart of the midfield, and that's a lovely little touch and turn away from the defender. And he tries to play it into his midfield partner, Sander Berge, but then goes and gives the ball away instead. And Phil Foden now has it in a good position, plays it into that man, Erling Haaland. Haaland goes past Diop like he's not even there, plays it into Bernardo Silva. Dominguez comes across to try and challenge, does just about enough to hold him up, and he does just about enough to win the ball back from Kevin De Bruyne, and now Andreas Pereira can bring it away. Looking into Rodrigo Munoz. Munoz, though, round the corner into that man Buendia, who just about gets onto the loose ball, and the Argentinian can burst down the right-hand side. Looks to shift it onto his left, play it across the box, looks for Munoz with the diving header, and it's over the bar it goes. To Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne once again being pressed here. Manchester City really struggling with this Fulham press, but it's a really, really good start for us in the opening half an hour of the second half here, as Bernardo Silva, though, skips away from the challenge of Sander Berge once again, and that's a lovely ball into Erling Haaland, who strikes from distance, and that is absolutely brilliant, and it's a fabulous way for Manchester City to regain the lead. Well, the talk of all the good Fulham play in the opening few minutes of the second half is totally undone, as once again Manchester City find a route through my defensive unit, and Erling Haaland, making amends from that earlier howler, smashes it into the right-hand corner of the goal. I'm frustrated, 2-1. And with just under 25 minutes left remaining on the clock here, I'm calling the cavalry. Sander Berge is going to go off after a bit of a disappointing debut. He will be replaced by the club captain, Tom Kearney, as well as a couple of other attacking substitutions in Willian and Adama Traore. Let's see if we've got what it takes to level the scores. John Stones to bring it out of defence. Really, really nicely done from the English international, but the captain, Kearney, wins the ball back in a really good position and plays in Emi Buendia, who's now in the centre of the park here. Buendia all the way into the box, goes alone, strikes straight at the goalkeeper. Could he potentially have tried to hold it off for Munoz, who was making a run into the box? The Argentinian saw his name up in lights there, and it wasn't meant to be. Willian out to Robinson on the left-hand side. Robinson into this man Kearney, who's absolutely everywhere. The young man into Rodrigo Munoz, who tried to take it on, and in the end he was blocked off. Just took a little bit too much time. Ruben Diaz in the centre of the park here. Plays it across to Haaland, but it's well blocked off though. Dominguez picks up the scraps, and now Rodrigo Munoz can play it across to Adama Traore. And of course the big man now can use his pace to get away from the defence here, but instead goes into the centre, plays in the right back Tete, who's in here. Tete, oh my goodness, he's placed it over. Oh, that was the chance. He had it on a plate, he was in, he should have struck it into the top left hand corner, but that was the strike of a defender. And is that the chance that's gone begging and means that we're going to end up losing the 3 points here? But Buendia plays it into Munoz. Have we got one more chance left in our locker here? The right back looking to make amends for his earlier mistake, plays it into the box, he goes, in the end it's a tame cross, Stones heads it clear. Valverde, the former Real Madrid man, picks it up, and now he drives to the left hand side. The referee looks at his clock. Game over. Well, it's our first 3 points dropped of the season, and you can see the disappointment on the faces of the players. I thought we were the better team here at the Etihad for long periods, but unfortunately that extra little bit of quality for Manchester City showed through. As a full-time era finishes, City 2, Fulham 1. Well, clearly Munoz's first goal of the season just wasn't quite enough. The young man will be delighted to get on the score sheet, but he'll be frustrated that it didn't amount to 3 points at the end of the game. Having said that, I am hoping that is going to be the goal that's going to kickstart the 22-year-old's Premier League campaign. One man, though, who will be hoping for a better start is this man Adarabioyo in the heart of the midfield. He was turning like an absolute truck in there. He really struggled to get a foothold in the game against Manchester City. He was totally overrun and then ended up getting substituted off for the man that he's coming to replace in Tom Kearney. The 32-year-old is still showing that he has what it takes for a starting spot in the heart of my midfield. And maybe he is going to be the man who's going to be the partner to this man, Nicholas Dominguez, who I thought was fairly decent, didn't do anything particularly exciting, but I felt he held together the midfield fairly well, had a couple of decent touches and a couple of decent runs. I'm hoping that can continue as the season progresses. And as for debutant number 3, Emi Buendia showed his versatility playing out on the right and in the centre of the park. He had a huge opportunity to get on the score sheet, which unfortunately he couldn't take, but the signs were positive that the 26-year-old Argentinian is looking to get back to his best. But even with those new signings and still with me having £38 million to spend, following our first test of the season, what areas of the team were you most disappointed with? Do you think this defensive back line is solid enough to carry me across the line in Season 1? Do you think I've got enough creativity in the wide areas with the likes of Iwobi and of course the reserves to Emi Buendia? Do you think Andreas Pereira is the creative spark that I need, or do I need an upgrade in that area? And is a 22-year-old Rodrigo Munoz and an aging Raul Jimenez enough to get me over the line, at least until the January transfer window? Of course, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and of course let me know if there are any other players that you want me to add to this ever-growing shortlist. For now though, we've got the opportunity to get back to winning ways in a game that we will be expected to claim 3 points for. We are back at Craven Cottage to face off against a team who have just come into the Premier League. It's Luton Town whom we welcome to London as we hope to get our Premier League campaign back on track. There's only one change to the team that lost 2-1 against Manchester City, and that is the big Scotsman. Tom Kearney comes back into the heart of my midfield with Adarabioyo after a disappointing debut, dropping to the bench. But Anthony Robinson to bring this one into central midfield, and of course it is that man, Tom Kearney, who collects the ball and then ends up losing it. That's not what you want from the Scotsman. These central midfielders are not doing their cause any justice whatsoever. It's got to be said here in the opening few games of this career mode as Luton have it. But Tom Kearney makes amends and he wins the ball back well and plays it into that man Dominguez. And Dominguez plays it into the striker Rodrigo Munoz. He's got the chance here to add his first of the game. Instead it falls to Andreas Pereira, and the Brazilian inside the opening 10 minutes says thank you very much. Well, does it count as an assist for Munoz? I'm not quite sure. He will be hoping it does after a pretty tame shot. The goalkeeper just palmed it straight in the direction of Andreas Pereira, laid it on a plate, and he's not going to miss an open goal from there. Thank you very much. Fulham lead 1-0. Well, it's the perfect response, and it's just what the doctor ordered. It's the perfect way to start this game, but it's going to be Luton who are going to try and see if they can now respond. To Sambi Lokonga in the centre of the park, plays it out to Doty on the left-hand side. Tete can't do enough to win the ball back, and it's played to the back post. Big save from Leno. Well, we just fell asleep there a little bit at the back. It was an easy ball to play in, and it was an easy free header that we just allowed to get in, but it's Iwobi who clears it away this time. Luton still have the chance though to bring it forward, but Anthony Robinson wins the ball back, tries to play it into the path of Iwobi, gets blocked off though. This Luton pressing us high here. Sutalu showing all that experience and that composure that he learnt at Ajax to just get away there. That was absolutely brilliant play from the Croatian, and Tete now bursts clear of the challenge into Buendia. Buendia around the corner, tried to play a ball, an audacious ball through to Rodrigo Munoz. It wasn't meant to be though. As Luton have it once again with a Cambia now as Tom Kearney wins the ball back well though, and Robinson brings it clear, and he's managed to just go past about 3 different players here, and the American all the way through, looking for the ball into Andreas Pereira, who takes it on. Pereira doesn't have any options in front of him, so plays it back into Tom Kearney, plays it back across to Pereira, it's blocked off. And in the end, it just bounces straight into the arms of Kaminski, the goalkeeper, who breathes a huge sigh of relief. Robinson out to Iwobi on the left-hand side. This has been a really, really good game so far for Fulham. We've dominated most of the possession, and we've dominated most of the chances here as Dominguez plays it through into Buendia. Buendia has stayed on side, looking for the cutback, can't quite find it. He's looking desperately for his first assist in a Fulham shirt. And I've got to be honest, I think if he continues the way he's going, it will not be long before he finds it as Robinson picks out Iwobi on the left-hand side. The young man plays it across to the centre, but all the way across to Tete on the right-hand side, takes it down, looking for the ball into the box, finds a ball in. It's too easy in the end for Luton to defend against. Barkley, though, Into the centre he goes, into Brown, gets it back from him, tries to play it across, but Tete intercepts and reads it well. Sutalu though round the corner into Buendia, and the Argentinian now can play it down the channel into Munoz once again. The Brazilian picks it up. He was a little bit slow with his touch, but he plays it back into Buendia, across to Pereira. Pereira takes it on, it's off the post. Oh my word, Buendia just cannot seem to get this assist he's so desperately craving. Iwobi picks it back up though. Dominguez on the edge of the box. Oh, I thought that was just about to nestle into the top left-hand corner as the referee blows for half-time. It's Brown for Luton to kick-start this game, but Sutalu is once again there with a crunching challenge. Been a really, really good start to life in Fulham colours for the Croatian, but we're under fire once again as we've lost the ball inside our half. This time Tete comes across. Doty has it though in a good position. Sambi Lakonga into Brown on the edge of the box. This time it's Diop who's trying to put a challenge in. We don't win it back. They've got it once again, but Brown blocked off by Diop. He skips away from one challenge, skips away from two, gives it away. Luton still have it though. We're doing ourselves absolutely no favours here. In the box it goes. Berry has it. Sutalu though is there in the nick of time, and he finds the pass away. The Croatian has been absolutely brilliant. Bore, nice ball down the line into Berry. That's a lovely little reverse pass into Nakambia, and he's beaten my defence here, but Diop comes across with a crunching challenge. Exactly what you want. He's almost gone and lost it again. The young man struggling. Look at this pressure from Luton. He's wriggled away from it though. Leno just absolutely hacks that one clear. Anywhere will do at the moment as Luton pile on the pressure here. Well, after a poor performance against Manchester City with about 20 minutes left remaining on the clock, Kearney is going to come off and he's going to be replaced by that man Sander Berge, in the hope that he can do a little bit better this time around in front of the home crowd. It's Doty though once again on the left hand side, tries to burst past Castagna on as a Saab, who's clearly not up to match fitness. Oh my goodness, what a volley, what a chance, what a save from Leno. Robinson plays it forward into Iwobi. Iwobi tries to play it back round the corner. Luton really starting to turn the screw, and we are really starting to buckle under said pressure, but Robinson just about manages to win the ball back. Plays it into Berge with a lovely touch and turn away from the defender. This time he looks for Rodrigo Munoz, who finds Castagna on the right hand side. The Belgian bursts forward here, looking for a ball into the box, gets a corner though instead. 10 minutes on the clock, and oh my word, we would love a second goal here to put this game to bed. It's floated into the edge of the box, looking for Dominguez, who doesn't manage to find it in the end. It will be Adama Traore who picks it up, plays it back out to Pereira on the right hand side, floats it back in, looking for Castagna at the back post. Headed clear though by Luton Town. Martial, the former Manchester United man, on as a substitute. Clearly a new signing in the summer transfer window, but we've won it back with Castagna. Plays it into the path of Adama Traore, round the corner into Pereira. Pereira into Munoz. This is the chance to win the game, and Rodrigo Munoz does just that. 88 minutes on the clock, and the Brazilian 22-year-old, hot off the heels of getting his first goal in a Fulham shirt this season against Manchester City, has doubled our lead and doubled his tally for the season. And surely now that is game over here at Craven Cottage. And after having it laid on his plate for his first goal, Andreas Pereira lays it on a plate for Munoz for his second, as Fulham take a 2-goal lead. And with that being the last attack of the game, you can see the frustration on the Fulham faces as I salute the home fans. Rodrigo Munoz, 2 attempts, 1 goal, and the Brazilian finally has kick-started his Premier League season. As a full-time era finishes, Fulham 2, Luton 0. Or Luton peppered our goal and our defence creaked, but we just about held it together for another clean sheet. Josip Sutalo has been an absolute rock at the back since joining, and he'll be delighted to get another clean sheet on his record. There's still some question marks as to what is going to be my midfield partnership, with neither Son Kearney nor Sander Berge being able to nail that position down. But with Rodrigo Munoz clearly hearing the talk at the beginning of the episode about his future at the club being in question, he has responded with aplomb. 2 goals in the last 2 games, and I've got to hope that's going to continue as the season progresses. As for today though, that is going to be that for the end of the episode. As I said, let me know down below if there's any new players you want to see join this Fulham revolution, because with £38 million still left to spend, and only about 3.5 months for some of the players at this team to show what they can do ahead of the January transfer window, things are really starting to heat up here at Fulham Football Club, especially in light of an absolute bombshell that is about to be dropped in the very next episode. It's one that I promise you do not want to miss. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you again next time.